Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor, coming at you to tell you a little piece of my mind. And I'm going to tell you right now, make sure that you go out and vote. That's the only thing that you can go do. Do not complain if you are not ready to take your pen or pencil or whatever digital way you want to do it and go and put your vote in. Whether you wait till November the 8th or you go do it right now at early voting, you have to get your votes in. I really appreciate those that watched the interviews that I did on all 7 candidates. Education, not indoctrination, they did it as a group. I did ask them why do they interview in groups, and they had their answer. Make sure that you watch the video so that you can see that. But I have looked at every single candidate so far, and I've interviewed them. I watched them in the campaign, and I did see how people came out in the primaries. I'm going to tell you who I think is going to win this race, and I'm going to give you a different perspective on what you might be thinking. I'm going to talk about both slates, and I'm going to tell you kind of my opinion and what I see is happening and the way that it's going to unfold. First of all, we're going to talk about Student First Slate. That has Yoho, Dean Rose, Gallagher, and Bravo. I watched how they all unfolded in the primaries. You had Yoho that came in at number 1. You had Miss Gallagher come in at 2. Dean Rose come in at 3, and Bravo at 4. Now, do I think this is going to fall the same exact way? I don't know. I believe Yoho, with the support of the teachers union, I believe she will come in at the very top of this slate as the most vote getter. Now, when it comes to second is going to be a very hard one because I have seen Dean Rose and I've seen Bravo really out there campaigning. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's going to be enough to take over Miss Gallagher. That's just my opinion. The reason why is because out of the 4 candidates, Mrs. Yoho and Miss Gallagher are the closest to the teachers, because if you truly look at what they do as a profession, it kind of came out in the primaries that Miss Yoho used to be a teacher, and Miss Gallagher, she does nonprofit dealing with education, so they do it every day. The other 2, they don't really work in the profession, and I think that's going to ultimately hurt them. But I don't think that there's going to be enough opposition to oppose the teachers union. I just don't think so. A lot of her votes really show that she's in support of the teachers because she was a teacher. Now for Miss Gallagher, a lot of things she said, I could understand how she formulated a lot of her thoughts. For me as a moderate, I would need a little bit more fight from Miss Gallagher. I want to see a lot more push behind some really looking deep into exposing where some flaws are going to be. Now, within this slate, 3rd and 4th is going to be a toss-up. It depends on how the independents vote. I don't know who's going to be 3 or 4, either Rose or Bravo. Dean has been involved in a lot of the school meetings, have been there, so it shows that he has skin in the game. But a lot of people are looking, especially the minorities, they're looking at Ms. Bravo as a connection to look deeper into supporting the minority population of the district. So that's going to be a toss-up depending on independence. I believe is going to be the thing that's going to divide that. Now, let's get into the education, not indoctrination slate. Now, with this, you have Mrs. Allen, you have Mrs. Cindy Rose, and you have Mrs. Angolia. Now, those 3, I truly believe that they are going to end up in the same order that they came in the primary. They're going to have more people vote for them because the Republicans do come out at a higher level, but I don't believe that the order is going to switch. That's just my belief, especially with some of the new pictures that came out, the January 6th pictures from Angolia. I don't think that's going to help her with the independents. independents. And so that's definitely not going to help her with the Democrats. So a lot of the Democrats that might have been on the edge of not knowing where to vote, that is going to probably turn some people off. For Mrs. Rose, I think that she, by going to the board and causing a lot of ruckus, I would say, I believe that this has hurt her in her chances, especially in the top four. I just don't think that there's going to be enough independence that's going to push her through to overtake Mrs. Allen. All right, but that's just my opinion. So this is the way I think that once we get these all combined and we have all seven, this is the way that I believe that it's going to end up. I believe that the number one vote getter will be Mrs. Yoho. Like it or not, I believe that with the teachers union and the Democrat Party, I believe that that was going to be enough. With a good little push from the independents, I think she's going to stay at number one vote getter. I believe that Mrs. Gallagher is going to come in at number two. Just the way that I see it. I don't see enough people in this seven to overtake those two. Now, coming down to third. Third is going to be kind of rough. I'm trying to decide the independent, the moderate voices. Those are going to be the ones that's going to change the 3 and the 4. I truly believe that Mrs. Allen is going to hit at number 3. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I believe that this is going to be a good thing, because we need at least somebody that has an opposing viewpoint, just so that there can be discussion. I don't think there's anything wrong with discussion, but the way that I see the board now, there's a lot of the Apple ballot candidates in there as of right now, and I believe that there's going to be more, and I think that we need to have at least one other person in there. Now, I think that the battle is going to come down to the number 4. And I believe that the number 4 is going to come down to between Bravo and Rose. If I had to take a stab at it, I'm going to pick Rose. I think that Dean Rose is going to top over Bravo, depending on if she can get a lot of the Hispanics and the minority votes. She might end up maybe tipping that. She's going to have to do a lot of work to overtake Dean. And the reason why I said that is because most time when people run for the second time, they usually have an advantage. So that's what I'm going to say. And then at the end, like I said, I think it's going to end up with the 5, 6, and 7 will be at Bravo, Cindy Rose, and Golia. All right, so I hope nobody has their feelings hurt, but this is the way I see it. This is the way it's going to evolve. I gave you the moderate perspective of how I think this is going to end up, but nothing can ever happen unless you go out and you go vote. It's Cadillac Counselor. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and always leave comments. And I'm going to tell you, listen, whoever you vote for, make sure that they have your best interest, because these children are definitely going to have to deal with the outcomes. Take it easy. Bye.